How you doing, guys? This is Cody, and today I am back here for another collection video. Now, I haven't done a collection video in a while, and this is one video that I've actually wanted to do for a while. These are movies that I've wanted to go into detail about. Now, I've shown these DVDs off in previous videos, like in my movie overview videos, but I've never done a video where I've shown these DVDs off in like really nice detail, and I want to do it today. And today I'm going to be talking about my horror classic DVD collection. Now, these are the classic films, they're from the 20s, 30s, 40s, the classic horror films that, some of them are incredibly influential, whereas others are forgotten films. But essentially these are, the classic black and white films that, like I said, that came from a certain time period that I really do enjoy. I really love classic horror films. No, I'm not going to be talking about any, classic monster films like Frankenstein, the Wolfman, or Dracula. I'm mostly going to be talking about single films, that are not part of any specific series. They're just films, but I've always really loved classic horror films. There's just something about them. Of course, since they're, most of them are classic films and they're very influential. And for a lot of these films, I know a lot of people have probably seen, but there's probably some movies in here that you may have not seen that you might want to check out. There are a lot of other classic horror films that I have yet to see, like Nosferatu, White Zombie. Those are films that are on my list. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. And the first movie I'm going to show off is, in my opinion, it's probably the most influential zombie film of all time. I know some people might say White Zombie, but personally, I believe that Night of the Living Dead is the quintessential zombie film. This is the restored and remastered DVD, which has a lot of great special features. And yeah, like I said, this is one of the most influential horror films of all time, along with Psycho and just so many other films. Psycho is one movie that I forgot to get for this video. It's up in my room, but you guys know I have that. But yeah, this is to me the quintessential zombie film. I personally think that after this film, every other movie that came after that related to zombies has been influenced by this film. Except for more modern films like the fast-running zombies and 28 Days Later. I think that's sort of like a new version. But for the most part, zombie films from the 60s, 70s, and 80s were most likely, they were influenced by Night of the Living Dead. And it's, like I said, a true classic, one of the greatest horror films of all time. One thing about this, though, is that I don't want to say this the wrong way, but I think that Night of the Living Dead is one of the most overused horror films. And you'll understand what I mean by this when I go on through this video. But essentially, Night of the Living Dead is one movie that they always throw into horror classics. Like every time you find a horror classic DVD set, the odds are Night of the Living Dead is going to be in there. I've also got a couple of CDs that are just of just horror music, and Night of the Living Dead is included. It's one of those movies that's included in all of them. This one and House on Haunted Hill are the movies that I see in almost every, classic horror DVD collection. And so when I say overused, I'm not saying that in a bad way at all. I mean, this is a truly classic horror film. It's also still, I think, a pretty creepy movie. I really do. The first time I saw this movie, I was actually really creeped out by it. But yeah, there's Night of the Living Dead. Now I'm going to move on to one of the first sort of box sets I have. This isn't really a box set, it's just a 2 DVD set, but this was put out by Platinum. And this is called the Mummies and Zombies set, and this includes Ancient Evil, Scream of the Mummy, which is it's a decent movie. It's not really a classic film, it was from the 90s, and Night of the Living Dead. And like I said, you're going to be seeing Night of the Living Dead in a lot more of these sets. But this thing is actually, this set right here is actually kind of a special set, because this was actually the first DVD I ever saw Night of the Living Dead on. The first time I saw the movie was from this set. I'm not gonna take out Ancient Evil, but I am gonna take out Night of the Living Dead and show you guys. And as you guys can see, it's in one of these jewel case DVDs. Like it just says DVD across the spine right there. I do like this cover. I know it's really generic, but for films like this, I think generic covers seem to add something to them. See, it says right there, Not Living Dead. And on the top, it's kind of funny. It says Classic Collector's Edition. There's nothing collectors about this edition. There's really nothing special. There's no special features. There is a small little section that's like credits of the movie, and it basically gives information about the film that's like running up, like going up the page, and it just has it has the theme song in the movie running. It has the theme song playing in the background, and it just gives a bit of information about the film, and that's pretty much the only thing that's special about this edition. I'll show the back right here, and it also says that it's rated R down right here, which I always thought was kind of funny, since it's not really the movie's technically not rated, but at least I don't think it is. And this is one of those old, you got to press right here and it opens up. And there's the actual DVD. And then there's advertisement for other, platinum DVDs. So, I mean, even though, it's kind of it's a much older DVD, but I've always liked this edition simply because it was the first time I ever saw Night of the Living Dead. I'm going to go ahead and slide it back in. Alright, now the next one is this horror collection set, 15 films on 5 DVDs. Now the DVDs are in this box, but they're not anything special. They just have this image right here on all the discs, and none of the DVDs have cover art. It's just a plain like jewel case and then the DVD. But like I said, it's got 15 movies, including, of course, Night of the Living Dead, which, like I said, that's why I say it's one of the most overused horror films. Horror Hotel, House on Haunted Hill, Shock, The Bat. What else? I Buried the Living, Carnival of Souls, The Last Woman on Earth, The Terror, which is a good one, which is another VHS tape that I've shown off before, but I forgot to get it for this video. Scared to Death, Bucket of Blood, A Name for Evil. It's just a ton of them. This was put out by Diamond, as you can see right there. And yeah, it's just like I said, it's just another one of those cheap sets, but it's got a lot of it's got a lot of movies on it, and it's just a cool set. I mean, there's nothing special about it, but I just like it because it's got so many movies. Then I got this 4-disc DVD horror collection, which has House on Haunted Hill, Mutant, Moon of the Wolf, and Fangs of the Living Dead. I have not seen any of them except for House on Haunted Hill. I do like that artwork right there for House on Haunted Hill on the DVD. But House on Haunted Hill is another one of my favorite classic horror films. There's the back. I'm not going to take out every DVD and show them off. Now the next one is another really nice set. This was put out by, who put this out? Good Platinum DVD. This horror classic. 16 movies on 4 DVDs. And I like the artwork for it. It's got a great sort of Halloween artwork, these are the type of films, these are the classic films that they're played all the time or they used to be played all the time on TV, around Halloween. And this set, just the artwork, even though it's really cheesy, it gives me the horror Halloween feel. I especially like the spine of the box because it just says horror classics, and then it also has these tombstones, and if you look closely, you can see some skulls laying right there, and it goes all the way across. And then this one has a this one has a ton of them. Beast from Haunted Cave, Condemned to Live, The Beast of Yucky Flats, I think that's how you pronounce it, The Corpse Vanishes, The Monster Maker, One Body Too Many, The She-Beast, Teenage Zombies, Tormented, Bela Lugosi meets a Brooklyn Gorilla, Revolt of the Zombies, The Screaming Skull, and Bloody Pit of Horror. And it also has this funny little rating right here. It says rated 13, not suitable for people under 13. And I am going to I think I will go ahead and take the discs out, or the DVDs, and just show you guys the different artwork for all the DVDs. Because I really like them. Like I said, they're cheesy, but at the same time, they're perfect for a set like this. And here's the cover. And there's the last one. That one's got the screaming skull. So yeah, it's a cheesy set, but it works. And it's got a lot of great films, and it just gives me the Halloween in October and horror classic type feel. Now these films I actually got from the Dollar Tree for the dollar, and they're really thin DVD cases. But first one we got Fangs of the Living Dead and Night of the Living Dead. Again, Night of the Living Dead. And these are all the same type of DVDs, and they're just two films. Got Revolt of the Zombies and Vengeance of the Zombies. I love that artwork. Bloodthirst, Castle of Blood. Snow Beast and Curse of the Swamp Creatures. Horror Hotel and Crypt of Horror. Scared to Death and I Eat Your Skin. And Little Shop of Horrors and The Terror, which, like I said, I have The Terror on tape, and I've shown it off before. Another one that I haven't shown off is that I didn't get is Dimension 13. I have that on VHS. Moving on. Now this next one is a triple feature of just 3 horror films, but I like it because it has this really cool like holographic cover. I'm going to see, like, it starts off with the clown, with the sort of the balls, and then it changes to him doing this. But this has Carnival of Souls, Funland, and the Cabinet of Dr. Calargy, and this was put out by Vintage Movie Classics. And I like this DVD. I have another DVD with it like this because it has, like, you open it up and it's got like information about the films and stuff, which I like. The only one I've seen on this was Funland, which I like it, but it's kind of a boring movie. Now this next one is one of the oldest DVDs I own, and it's also the first time I ever saw these 3 horror films. This is the Vincent Price triple feature, and it has House on Haunted Hill, The Bat, and The Last Man on Earth. And even on the bottom, special collector's edition. Again, like the Night of the Living Dead. This is from Platinum. Again, and it just has these 3 classic horror films. And this was the first, but like I said, this was the first DVD I ever saw, House on Haunted Hill, which is one of my all-time favorite horror films. And now I got these DVDs that I got from Goodwill. Now I'm not going to show these off a lot. I'm just going to show off the cover. But I'm actually planning on doing a video showing all these off in better detail. I love the artwork for them, but I'm going to do a separate video because I want to show off these, the packaging on these. These are, in my opinion, the worst DVD packaging I've ever seen. But, I'll talk about that in the next video. Yeah, like I said, these are all like cheap, just 2 movies on 1 DVD, and I don't know if Goodwill still has those, but they had them around Halloween one year. And the last 2 these are like funny little CD and DVDs. This one's called Frightened to Death, and it's got just a bunch of music from just Halloween type music, but there's a DVD in it that has the Boyer or the Bower at Midnight, The Amazing Transparent Man, and Revolt of the Zombies. And like I said, it's just another DVD. I mean, it's just another set that's just got like cheap, music for Halloween. There's a CD. But one thing that's really cool, about this, that I really like, is if I can get it out of the freaking package. Again, it's just terrible packaging. Come on. There we go. The DVD looks like that, which I think it doesn't fit with this set, but I just really like that. It's just cool. It's just a bloody saw. That's probably the cool thing about it. But I mean, these things are just cheap little things, but they're also kind of cool if you want to just pop the CD in for Halloween and put it on a CD, and then you got a DVD with 3 classic horror films. And this last one is Halloween Fright Night, 1 CD and 1 DVD, and this set has a collection of horror movie themes, which has the CD has, you know, they're performed by the 101 Strings Orchestra, which I've never heard of, but it's got the themes for Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Wolf, Bram Stoker's Dracula, The Beginning, Jaws, The Omen, Frankenstein, Hellraiser Resurrection, The Shadow from Psycho, I think, no, Friday the 13th, The Shining, Psycho Prelude, Psycho the City, Psycho the Murder, and Psycho the Cellar. So it's got some pretty good, you know, themes on it. Just fun, you know, themes. But one thing that's funny, it's got Night of the Living Dead on DVD, you know. And just like I said before, Night of the Living Dead is, again, one of the most overused films, because every time you get like a set like this that has a CD of horror music or horror sounds, and they always include a DVD, they will most likely include Night of the Living Dead or House on Haunted Hill or something like that. So, you know, that's what makes that's why I say Night of the Living Dead is one of the most overused horror classic DVDs. You know, even though it's an amazing film, don't get me wrong, but in almost every single horror classic set or whatever, they always include that. But anyway, guys, that was my video showing off all my horror classic DVDs. And like I said, I also have Dimension 13 and The Terror on VHS. And I do have Psycho on DVD. I just forgot to get it for this video. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think. And like I said, I love classic horror films. You know, some of them are amazing and some of them are, you know, just decent. And I love the different, you know, the different box sets that they come out with. I mean, stuff like this, you know, they're cheesy, but they're also really fun and cool. You know what I mean? You know, because it just adds something to them. And you know, I just really enjoy collecting these horror classics. And like I said, I do plan on getting a White Zombie eventually. I've actually seen it on DVD in a 3-pack that also includes Night of the Living Dead. And yeah, so anyway, guys, thanks everyone for watching. Let me know what you think about these DVDs, and let me know what's your favorite, like, classic horror film, you know? Anyway, guys, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I will see you all in the next video.